Welcome to Inside the Firm, a podcast dedicated to small business owners and hosted by entrepreneurs, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko. Each week, they take you on their journey of how to start, run, and grow a business by bringing you inside their architecture and real estate development firm. Get a behind-the-scenes tour of how these business leaders manage their clients and foster company culture while creating new and innovative projects. And now your hosts, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko.
Welcome to another edition of Inside the Firm. I am your host, Al the Pal Gore. I'm here with Lance Luxury Cayko. We're here to give you what you need, and what that is right now is a rocket ship, either to the moon, to Mars, or to your skill set. And if your skill set is in architecture, you should be pretty good at Revit. Check out RevitRocketship.com, where yours truly teaches you fundamental basics of how to model and build to mimic construction so that you can be more efficient, be more responsible, and get more rewards. RevitRocketship.com. Go check it out.
You also need to check out Arquette.com. Why? Because with project conditions changing and limited time to get things done, it's good to have information at your fingertips. Arquette.com provides architects, engineers, spec writers, and contractors with the most comprehensive libraries of building product content and designed, so you can access it quickly and efficiently. Even better, and this is my favorite part, Arquette.com is free to use and requires no registration. So visit today and access the information you need now. I also want you to check out, last but certainly not least, PellaLuxury.com/the firm. If you are an architect or a contractor out there listening to this podcast and you have one of those projects that is going to require some specialty kind of windows, I'm talking about super modern, beautiful homes that you're designing and or building, you need to check out Pella Luxury, because you've never experienced a brand like this before. The collection of brands within the luxury division of Pella are the conversation starters. Trust me, the pioneers of industry who provide window and door solutions to discerning architects, the building industry, and beyond. They have decades of experience creating things no one else in the world is creating, and the collection of brands are brought together to complement and build on one another. They don't push beyond the limits, they set them. Explore PellaLuxury.com/the firm. That's PellaLuxury.com/the firm today. Back to you, Al. And then back to me, right?
Yeah.
So I took a poll in a group that we're in the Entre Architect community, and I was just curious. I don't know why I thought of this the other day. I know why, because my wife was like, well, not everybody's like, I don't even know why we were talking about this. I think we were just talking about our kids. We have teenagers, so it's a whole thing.
Yes, it is.
We were talking about motivation and like what is going on with these kids these days and stuff like that. You know, that's all old curmudgeonly now Gen Xers and Millennials that me and Al are. So I was wondering, I wanted to see, you know, at what age everybody started their firm. People who are listening to this, we have a lot of student listeners, and so just wanted to kind of put in perspective of you of what the industry kind of gave us some feedback on. And basically, go ahead, Al.
Let's go from the highest one at 40%.
Yeah.
Which is 30 to 35-year-olds.
Yeah, and let me give you some context of 81 people voted in this poll. Yeah.
Yep. That's good numbers, 81.
Yeah.
Second highest at 17% is 40 to 45.
Yep.
And then third highest at 12% is 45 to 50. So like that, the 30 to 35
makes sense, right?
Makes sense.
You've gotten licensed.
You know, yep.
You're seasoned.
You've gone through a couple battles.
Yep.
A couple bad clients, a couple great clients.
Sure. All of the above. Yep. You've got some connections.
Couple at 28, couple at 37, 39.
Yep. And then at number 6, which looks like it's number 4 here. Yeah. So again, to recap, the poll came out to 40% of people, the majority of people said they were 30 to 35 when they started their business, architecture business. Then in second place, 40 to 45. Third place, 45 to 50. So what did I do? 1, 2, 3. Yep. Fourth place, believe it or not, 25. At 25. What the heck?
6? Are you sure? Scroll down. You are right. Oh, tied with 29.
Tied with 29. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So interesting. I just wanted to bring it up, and just so everybody kind of, if you're listening and you're like, well, you know, I need a number. I don't know if you're that type of person.
Oh, okay.
It's just interesting.
Yep. 30. Where's 35 to 40? Does no one do it at 35 to 40? This is hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyone?
I'm not seeing it. Yeah. I'm not seeing it. Yeah. I'm not seeing that at all. So,
all right.
Anyway, just some sort of anecdotal, but there is some empirical data there. I thought it'd be worth sharing. Okay. So we started ours. I was 23. I was 25. Super early. And, it's just like anything. The earlier you can have kids, in my opinion, the better off you are later on in life. You're more, you got a lot of life left to you to enjoy. So, do what you will.
Mm-hmm. Back to me, back to you.
Back to you. Yep. So something we've been talking about quite a bit here on the show since the pandemic is this remote working stuff, and it just keeps getting brought up. Right, we keep talking about it, and sure enough, there was a big old thread in the Entre Architect community about it this week on Facebook. Go check it out if you haven't. Please do. It's a great resource for people, and it also helps you see a bunch of different perspectives. Well, there's folks in there that think that if you aren't remote, you are going to be left behind, and good luck with your business. And I was like, oh man, I totally forgot about this article that came up a day or two before that whole discussion unfolded. And it says that the title is here on LinkedIn, "Your remote employee may be lying. Managers who miss the office could have one or more reason to push back against remote work. Employee scams. Some people hired for fully remote roles like industries like IT are outsourcing their jobs to freelancers, exposing companies to risks like data leaks while the number of employees scams is hard to track," Insider says. Anecdotal evidence shows an increase in job candidates and employee fraud cases in recent years, proving that many companies still struggle to manage their remote workforces after 2 years of hybrid work.
Okay, I think there might be some mixed messaging from architects and big tech. And this is what I mean is, architects, remember how you sell people. And it's the quality of space. And one of the biggest things that you do when you design
the value of your quality space.
Any business or any corporate. Like if you don't do corporate campuses or if you do no office space, then I don't think that you're being hypocritical. But if you do that and you sell how what every big tech company sells once they make a new headquarters is like the interaction, the quality of space. Now the big thing is the neighborhoods that we build in this will allow for interaction, productivity, quality of life. But what if your firm's remote work? Like what if you are a big architecture firm and you're like, oh, we just remote work. And then you're going to literally go to a presentation and say like, oh, you should build a big office building and it should have all this, right? And then the same thing with all these tech companies. Every time Google just made a campus, Apple made a campus. Apple's slightly different. We could go on, but all these big YouTube, when they make it, like you've seen their campuses on Arc Daily and stuff like that. They always tout how this is so great because it's going to help their employees and all that. And then you spend $100 million making this and basically say, oh,
just kidding.
Just kidding. Just as good. You are just as good sitting at home. So if that's true, like why are they making any campuses and why aren't they? One point that the comment made up in this is there is a suspicion that companies want people. I've always suspected, this is a comment, that companies were pushing employees to come back into the office because of the actual investment in the office space, especially since some of the companies were aggressive about employees coming back to work, right? Mm-hmm. Recently, a friend told me, so who knows what this means. Companies are likely to have internal data of why they don't want to release, which shows why working from home isn't ideal. But anyways, what I'm getting at...
Interesting.
What I'm getting at, though, is if you only design residences and commercial space for warehouses and people that produce stuff, and like, does your argument fall apart? Even for schools? Like, we took our kid to a he's in kindergarten, but like the schools like meet everyone. The decoration and the amount of activities there And then the kids like, oh, they're sitting at their desks. They're right next to the teacher. We're
Yeah.
like, this is a great environment. Because we toured a lot of schools, and I saw some rooms that were terrible and some rooms that were great,
Sure.
some that didn't have natural light. And I mean, this factored in on our opinion. Like one school, I was like, even if we go here, like we will not be in this teacher's room just because of like the vibe of the whole room. So if you do that work, but then you only do it from remote work, like it's just like you're being hypocritical.
Yeah.
I know you have a sales job to do,
Yeah.
so okay, do that. But man,
So companies have shareholders, and I think that's what Shauna Garth is basically alluding to later on in the second half of the paragraph that you started, Al. She says this article provides some insight into this issue, and I think it's important that companies are honest about the reasons they want employees back in the office. Work from home arrangements can be unstable and difficult to manage, but that doesn't mean they can't work with the right communication and planning. However, I can understand why they wouldn't release this information, right? It would scare shareholders, you would think. She doesn't say that. I'm saying that.
Yeah.
It shows the lack of stability the company has, which also poses other questions, right? So it kind of goes back to your whole quality control thing, right?
yeah,
And saying and you touting your services in that way, and the quality of craft and care and all of that. So it could show a weakness.
yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. Again, we are hybrid. We do mostly in person, and then Wednesdays out.
Yeah.
And it seems to be working for everybody. It's given me and Al sort of this.
4/5 in, 1/5 out.
There you go. Yep. Okay. Another thing I wanted to talk about today was this is coming from architectmagazine.com, and it was posted a long time ago, apparently, but it just popped up again, and I thought it was good because it's still relevant, and we haven't changed anything. We haven't. We are still coming back to it, right? 20 years later, 12 years later. Title is Everyone's an Architect. Architects, like Al Gore, are fed up with people in the technology field using their title, styling themselves software architects, enterprise architects, and information architects, to name a few. It can't be stopped. But more often than not, it's the sincerest form of flattery. So this gentleman goes on to say, what's the first thing you do if you're an architect looking for a new job? You polish off your resume and portfolio, and then most likely you'll hit the online job boards. Let's say you live in New York City. You visit this website, Indeed.com, and type in the search terms architect in New York. So far, so good. There were 3,710 results when I tried this experiment one day in late June, but look closer. Not every listing is for a job at an architecture firm or even in the AEC industry. On page 5 of my search results, I came across an ad for the position Architect Lead. Sounds promising until you read the job description and discover that this architect is in fact an asset manager at a global financial services firm and will report naturally to the asset management team. 10 pages into the search results, only 2 out of 10 ads are for AEC jobs. Most of the rest are in information technology. It's a pretty lengthy article. I would encourage you to go look at it yourself. But we're 12 years later, we're still arguing about this.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I would say what he pointed out is the only annoying thing about it. Like I do hate that. It's like you're looking for
If you're
a
looking for a
candidate
job,
or a
sure.
candidate's looking for you, and it's like, okay, 3/4 of these are ITs. But it is flattery for sure. That's how you should take it. That's the best way to take it.
Yeah, I don't think get all bent out of shape out of it. If you at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, what is the definition again? Let me look this up real quick.
Okay.
Architect. That's what I want to get at here. Architect definition. Perfect. Okay, number 1. There you go. A person who designs buildings and in many cases also supervises their construction. And then number 2.
Wait, time out. And in many cases, no. You do not, in many cases, supervise your construction.
True. Number 2, a person who designs hardware, software, or networking applications and services of a specified type for a business or other organization. So now we're into that. It kind of is what it is. Basic, and then like overall, right? I mean, even in the Matrix, I think the 3rd one or something, where they're like, this is the architect, meaning
Yeah.
they're the person who designed everything. I don't know. I think it's a form of flattery. Maybe it's at this point we need to be like, you're a building architect, you're a software architect, you're a matrix architect.
Matrix is real.
Yeah, that's all I got. What do we got next, Al?
I think let's bring down the crew for ARE Jeopardy.
Let's do it.
Question number 1. You might not even know that this is a thing, but it is. What is the single concentrated live load for a wood handrail designed for? Is it A, 50 pounds, B, 250 pounds, C, 75 pounds, or D, 200 pounds? Single concentrated live load.
But you don't know.
Okay. D and B, both of you were better thinking than me. I thought A, 50 pounds. The correct answer is D, 200 pounds. Probably someone leaning on it. You know, it's going to fall. Dev. Big Dev. Yep. Question number 2. Which span rating is permitted for wood structural subfloor sheathing where the floor joist framing is spaced 24 on center? So these are span ratings that you will see on the plywood or OSB, right? Is it A? So you're looking for what you can use on 24-inch center spacing. Is it A, 40-20, B, 48-24, C, 24-0, or D, 24-16? Yep, no collusion on this one.
No collusion.
Okay. B and D, the correct answer is B. The second number is the span distance. The first number, so like B is 48-24, right?
Yep.
There could be a 24-24. That first number relates to the live load. It's not the actual live load. They didn't make it obvious, like 40 pounds a square foot for live load is a 40-24. No, they made it weird. But the higher you go on the first number, the more live load you can have. The second number is the span ratio so 24. And there are things like 24-0. That's normally like a 3/8 inch or something even less plywood. Like, oh, don't use this for structural. Use it for something else, cabinets or, whatever.
All right, me?
Yep.
Number 3, which U.S. city adopted and uses its own building code? A, New York, B, Los Angeles, C, Chicago, D, San Francisco. We have C, Jason has A, and the correct answer is C, Chi-Town. Chicago. All right, what do we got for scores? It's Jason versus Reeves, 0. Reeves is murdering with 3.
You have to give her your stamp once you get it.
I agree.
You have to. Yeah.
She's killing him. She's destroying the patriarchy.
Yep.
Number 4, a typical service meter measures power in what unit? A, kilowatt hours, A, wattage hours, B, kilowatt hours, C, ampere hours, or D, power hours.
Ooh, power hours.
Yeah, power hours are devastating.
Yeah. That was the name of the sermon.
B, the correct answer is B, kilowatt hours. Reeves, where are we going to eat?
Where are we going?
What did I say?
Longmont Public House.
Is that where we're going?
I think so.
All right.
We are not doing grilled lobsters.
Nope. You have to win. Next time you win, you can choose. That's it for me, Lance.
If you like this episode, please share this episode with your mom, a friend, a colleague. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, leave us a comment. We'll see you next week.